live. All right, do it live. Sorry, anybody out there who's actually hoping to be watching Bill Reel's broadcast. I only barely saw that he was on when I decided impromptu to go on too. And yeah, sorry, Bill Reel. Sorry, guys, over at LDS Discussions. I don't know. The spirit moved me, so now we're making thumbnails. So I get a lot of people asking me how I put my face into thumbnails. So I'm going to show you how I do it. All right. So I have an AI generated thumbnail. You're going to see it here in a minute. I've decided to make a video about responding to Alex O'Connor talking about Mormonism and just basically, in a good natured, friendly way saying, Alex O'Connor and other atheists out there who like to confirm, well, the Mormons don't have such a bad point. Leave the history of Mormonism to ex-Mormon atheists, please. We've got this. You can go back to your corner. You can go back to what you're doing. And I don't know. I may make this video. I may not. It's a little bit snarky even for me. And, so I decided to make this thumbnail basically with me and joining the angry mob that's going to Carthage jail to get Joseph Smith. Yeah. So this is what I'm doing. This is something I've been working on, a series called AI and I. So let's just go ahead. I'm going to show you. I'm going to pull up Photoshop. Okay. And this is the image that I have made. Let me pull it up to 100%. Okay. It's a little bit pixelated. I don't mind. It's okay. It's pixelated because I cropped it in nice and close. If I wanted to, I could make it. I could be really picky about it, and say, no, I gotta make another version of the same image. Maybe I'll do that. For now, this will suit for a demonstration. So the first thing you need to know is, so you get the image that you want, and then you take a selfie of your face as you want it to look. Okay. Then you take that picture and you want to share it. In my case, I'm going to share it into my photos. Those are all pretty goofy. Those are too goofy. I'm going to take one that's a little more angry. I do want it to be somewhat silly, because I'm not actually. That's right. I spend too much time doing this stuff. I really do. Oh, Lord. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that last one. It's all about making it funny. All right. Well, and I'm going to share it to my photos, right? And you share it to your photos, that's going to upload it right away. Otherwise, you have to wait for it to automatically sync. That's penny. Okay. Almost instantly, that should now be available in my photos. Let me show you that. Okay, so this is the photo I just took of myself. Okay, good. Okay, come over here to Photoshop. I've downloaded the image, and I'm going to open up my downloads, take a picture of me, drop it on top. And you're going to see it's going to create that in a separate layer over here. So as I demonstrated in a previous video that's only available to contributors over at korihor.org, what I tend to do is to lower the opacity in Photoshop of the picture of me and then size it to the size of the person in the picture. Okay. If it's semi-transparent, that makes that a lot easier. Okay, this is too small. Okay. Now I'm seeing as I'm doing this and learning this that it might be better if my face were facing the other direction. I'm moving this, by the way, a pixel at a time, just using the keyboard keys. So I'm going to come up here to Edit, Transform, Flip Horizontal. Boom. There we go. Okay. All right. Now the key is going to be, now I'm going to rotate it slightly to match the angle of the person whose face is underneath mine here. Just makes it a little easier. Everything we can do to make it easier is good. I'm just moving it, nudging it with these little keys, making my face fit the face of this guy underneath me. Okay. Now one trick that I sometimes will do in my other video, which is available to contributors, maybe I'll just show you guys that real quick because I haven't showed that yet because I literally just pushed publish on this earlier today. If you go to korihor.org and you log in, you become a contributor, which is $2 an offering to the Church of Korihor. Yes, we are a real church. For just $2 a month, you're going to get access to a lot of these pages, like the Oath of Reason. You know, you can't see these, like you can see the links to them in the menu, but you can't actually get access to them without being a contributor. That's because there's special rewards for members of our contributor community. If you become a contributor of the Church of Korihor, that does not make you a member of the church. You have to actually take the Oath of Reason to join the church. But these are just for people who like what we're doing. They're friends of Korihor who want to help us to build what we're doing. $2 a month is pretty good deal. What I've decided to do is launch a series called AI and I, and I'm going to show how I use artificial intelligence tools for things like creating book covers, thumbnails, songs, how I use it to help write books and do research for books and things like that, even though I haven't published a book in years. But we're going to start publishing some books. So one of the things projects we're taking on is Beth Magnetic and I have talked about expanding one of the missions of reason of the Church of Korihor, which is Hellfire Agency, my podcast, and expanding our series about Ted Bundy to include suspense novels. So some of the things that you can see in there is this. You see a book cover I made here in a 6x9 book cover format, and then also made the audiobook version of this using artificial intelligence tools, namely Leonardo.ai and Photoshop. You know, you can ethically make, AI generated art. You know, if you say you would hire a person, an artist, to make a book cover for you, but you just can't afford to, then it just makes sense. Go ahead and use the tools that you have for now, and then commit to, in the future, you're going to support artists either in other ways, or in the future, when you have the money to be able to afford something like paying artists, then you'll do that, and for the right reasons. But so that's how you make there's a section on that. Then I just released a video with my new friend Kai Van Leuven, who's a Christian apologist who runs a channel, Jesus for Mormons. I made basically a 1.5 hour tutorial on how I made that thumbnail. And basically with a similar process, but slightly different from this one. I thought with this one, I'll just show you guys how it's done, how I did it. So anyways, that's what's going on there. Just going to check real quick, see if anybody's on the live. Nope, that's cool. You people in the future, let's do this together. All right. All right, so let's put my face in here. This is a technique that I used recently to rather grand acclaim on where I photoshopped my face into an astronaut's helmet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a layer above the background layer that's just empty. I have turned off the visibility, as you can see on my picture. And I'm going to try to bring in my face over the face of this person. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and turn the visibility on the picture of my selfie, the layer of my selfie. I'm going to right click and go create clipping mask. Now you're going to see it looks like it disappears, but if you see over here in the in the layer section, you'll see it's actually just now referring to the layer underneath it, which is layer 1. I'm going to go ahead and take the brush tool, diminish the hardness on it, lower the hardness on it, and then bring the size up. So much innuendo. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. Any place that you put a pixel on layer 1 is actually going to show the selfie layer. So let's take like the nose right here. Bop. Bop. Do-do, do-do. Okay. We're getting there. My head is way too big still, but screw it. It's all right. Okay. Now you see that I'm starting to bring in the edges around on the outside here, and the color of my brush is starting to show because there's no picture above it to show. So I hit the E for eraser, and now I'm going to dial back the edges. You're going to notice that my flow is set very low. It's set to 28% here. Okay. So I don't know, man. I'm getting close. This is getting somewhere here. Okay. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take my face here. I'm going to resize it just by clicking on my selfie layer. I'm going to resize the image and shift it around inside the space. See if I can make my face fit between the ears of this guy. And again, I don't always do it this way. Sometimes, like I did with that Kai Van Leuven video, I just kind of, don't worry, be crappy, put my face on top of the AI generated face and go, bah, good enough. So, but sometimes it's fun to make it a little more photo accurate by doing it this way. I'm going to come up here to hue saturation. I'm going to go ahead and just shift the color a little bit. See if I can shift the color in my image a little bit here. Am I getting nothing? What am I doing wrong? You know what? Let's not do that. Let's do it this way. I'm going to come over here to curves. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and take the blue. Now, daylight is blue. I know it seems counterintuitive. It's true. You think of the blue sky, right? You notice the color of and the guy's hair, the hair of the guy underneath my layer. So much innuendo. It's blue. White, outside white has a bit of a bluish hue like the sky, an azure blue. So I'm going to switch my curves over from RGB, which is going to adjust the contrast of the whole image, to just blue. I'm just going to take the blue. And I'm going to come up here to the high end of the blue, to the highlights. Now pop up the blue a little bit. Why? Okay. Thank you. Like, why am I getting nothing? Now, even though we're bringing it up in the highlights, that doesn't mean that we want to miss out on that we want that much blue in the midtones and in the shadows. So I'll bring it down the middle section. I think I have to revamp the drivers. I did get a warning about one of my drivers was out of date, and for the video card, maybe I need to start over on some of this here. I may have to stop and reload a new driver. Okay, so but anyways, let's see. Like we want more blue in the picture, but mainly in just the highlights. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Now I'm going to switch back over to RGB. I'm going to put an S curve. This is what's known as an S curve, where you think of the letter S, right? You pop up the highlights a little bit. Boom. And then you pop down the shadows and the midtones. Boom. Like a shape of an S. You don't want to go too far with it. Yeah. Not this blue isn't selling for me. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to diminish this a little bit. I'm going to bring it down a little bit in terms of the blue. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the red down instead. Bring down the red in the highlights and then the midtone somewhere. There we go. That's done. That's getting the job. That's getting the job done. Okay. All right. So this is before, this is after, before, after. You see where we're going with it, right? Now the greens are too much. Okay, I'm going to take the greens down just in the shadows here. Not that much. Shoot. Instant regret, man. Bring them down. Bring down the greens in midtones. There we go. Okay. Now I feel like I got too much blue in it. This is the danger of adjusting the colors. It's like sometimes it's like, oh, now let's adjust this one and this one and this one and this one. All right. You know what? Let's start over. Tell what I want to do. Anytime I look at pictures like this, I think of the Monty Python sketch of the cardinals, the Spanish Inquisition, and torturing while they're torturing the old woman in the dungeon. Like, confess, old woman. She's like, I don't know what I'm accused of. Ha! Right, Cardinal. Poke her with the soft pillows. Ha 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 ha. It's not working, my lord. Do you have the stuffing all up in one end? Yes, my lord. She's made of harder stuff. That's getting there. I'm going to go ahead and leave it for now. I'm gonna go ahead and leave it for now. Sometimes you gotta just let it go. So I mean, so far we're so good. You got you got it mainly in there. So I'm gonna go ahead right now. Poke her with the soft cushions. Put her in the comfy chair. No, the comfy chair. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up my eraser tool and just kind of dial back my actual hair for my selfie and let the hair of the guy underneath so much innuendo, the guy underneath my layer kind of shine through here a little bit. And again, the great thing about this is that as I'm doing this, I'm not actually destroying my selfie because it's all still there. I'm just revealing more of it or less of it. So I'm going to try now that I have erased some of my skin to reveal some of the skin of the version of me that AI generated underneath this one, or that is currently underneath this one anyway. Oof. I'm going to try and make my selfie match it a little bit closer. So for example, I'm going to bring my eyes up here a little bit. Then I'm going to refine my clipping mask. Oh yeah, that's doing the heavy lifting right there. That's getting the job done. That's getting the job done. Cardinal, give the rack a turn, and then he straps her down to a dish rack. It's like, my lord, yes, I know. I would just pretend. And then he just like pretends to turn the rack on the dish rack around her boobs. No. Monty Python is life. I put to you, Monty Python is life. I'm going to just go ahead and move my image, my face down a little bit here inside the space, even though that doesn't exactly fit the picture underneath, but I'm just making it fit. What matters is that you get to it in the end, right? Sometimes it is the destination and not the journey. I have a fat face. Sometimes I just lean into it. And then in a minute, we're going to. So, first thing I'm going to do. All right. Yeah, I'm going to just let my ear be my ear. Not worry about matching up to the ear of the person, this non existent person. His feelings can't be hurt. Okay. I'll zoom in a little bit. Yeah. Ah. Poke her with the soft cushions. Kind of give her that comfy chair. The comfy chair? With a higher resolution image, this would work even better. But, we're not beating ourselves up about that right now. Or I'm not beating myself up about it right now. You can beat me up inside your mind. That becomes your problem. All right. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Remember, always, it's just a thumbnail. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay. So now I'm going to try and just bring down the saturation and vibrance of this. Just make sure I'm still recording here. Okay, that looks good. I'm going to play around with my vibrance and saturation, see if I can't make this look a little less oversaturated before I go in and try and change it. feel like I'm getting something out of that. All right. I'm going to move. Actually, now I'm looking at it from this distance. I think I'm going to move both layers over just slightly. Okay, there we go. Then I'm going to try again with, I'm going to try the hue and saturation filter on this again. Just see if we can warm it up a little bit. That's good, man. That's looking pretty good. Now we can add our curves and bring up the shadows, by which I mean crushing the shadows, make them. Yeah. Yeah, it's getting there. Let's go, Joe Smith. I'm sorry for laughing. Oh man. I can already hear them at Ward Radio going, if you wanted to do it right, smear blackface all over their faces, because they all had their faces painted black. That's only in one narrative that they all had their faces painted black, and it may be true. But for obvious reasons, I'm not going to do that. And anyone who says that that's just me being unfair to the narrative I'm already poking fun at, they're right. That's true. But it's just supposed to be for fun. I'm only talking about getting Joseph Smith for fun, just for funsies. Don't take it so serious. So serious. Yeah, that's getting there, man. That's getting there. Might want to pop a little more of the reds in the midtones a little bit, maybe. That's pretty much it, you guys. So I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna shed back. I'm either gonna build up or shed back this forehead a little bit. I'm gonna build it up a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick my layer where the paint is, and I'm gonna paint my face back in a little bit here. Painted some of my hair for my selfie. Not too much, because as you can see, it's losing its blending. Okay, now once I've got it more or less how I want it to be. One of the great things about put my brush tool here. One of the great things about the AI tools that Adobe has made available to us now is the ability to do this process that I call the remove red dot process. Okay, and some people who have seen my stuff before have seen me do this before. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and yeah, I could nitpick at this all day, but let's not. Okay. I can't get over it. I didn't expect this to turn out this well. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and hit the brush tool. Oh, by the way, I should have mentioned. Here, let me do this. The process that I just did without thinking to explain it was to smash down all the layers, merge them down. That's with the keys Control E on a PC, Command E on a Mac. So, or you can come up here to layer, merge down, and then it just kind of smashes those two layers together. Usually I don't do a lot of that, just because it's I've been doing this long enough that I know how to keep track of layers in my head. When you're new to Photoshop, just for a while, just don't be afraid to merge layers, because it's just like, otherwise you get so lost and frustrated with, dude, which freaking layer am I in right now? Oh shit, what did I do? So, uh, I like to just, get used to smashing the layers down, as I call it, or merging layers, or flattening the image as much as is needed. Okay, so I just painted a red dot right over my shoulder here. And you say, Joe, what did you do that for? You ruined it. No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my selector tool, and I'm going to select just a small area. You can do it with a large area, but the larger the area, the more creative Photoshop is going to get with it. Don't be wild about that. Okay, and I'm going to put into the generative AI, remove red dot. And it's going to create another layer with an alternate version of this space without the red dot in it. In the process, it also basically refines that part of the image with new artificial intelligence generated sections. So here, let me turn the visibility off. So this is before, this is after, before, this is after. Now the key here, I'm going to do another generation because I'm not in love with any of those. I'll take this one if I have to. Let's see. No, that's probably better. No. Bingo. Oh, that's the one I had. I'm just going to take it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and hit Control E. Once again, that's going to compress this down into one layer. I'm going to go ahead and take my brush tool. I hit B on my keyboard. You can also come over here to the brush tool. I'm going to paste another red dot over here. We're going to do the same thing over here. Remove red dot. Oh yeah, look at that. That made a huge difference. Oh yeah. Is that the one? Yeah, that's the one. Okay, let's try it over here. Let's see if we can get AI to fix this trigger, this trigger finger that's not right. Let's put my red dot. I'm going to select around it and hit Generate Fill. Now I'm going to go ahead and just paste in remove red dot, which I happened to copy in the last round. Let's see if it fixes anything. That's a little bit better. No. I don't know. Maybe we don't need to be picky. Maybe we go with this and just don't be picky. Now let's generate. Let's do another round of generations. They're free. Why not? I mean, they're free now. I pay $50 a month, I think, for Adobe Creative Cloud, and it's worth every penny for me because I do a lot of video. Oops! Oh, check it out. I don't know, man. I just don't know that that's an improvement. Let's take it. We're going to go with the philosophy of it doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be better. Let's go ahead and create another red dot over here. Let's start this one over. We'll remove a red dot. I could have pasted that over. Now, I had told it to create muskets. This is not a musket. That is not a musket. But that is a rifle. I mean, I guess, yeah. That's like a repeating rifle. And they definitely did not have those in 1844. 1843? 1844? 1844. Pretty sure. But we're not going to be picky. Okay. And there you have it, my friends. That's a thumbnail. I can go ahead and hit export. I like to hit save for web legacy. I make sure that my image is set to 1920 by 1080. Take a quick look around. And I hit save. And say Exmo Joe versus Joel Smith. Ma 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 ma. Ha ha. And that is how I put my face. Just, I don't have to be perfect, says Gene. Gene, you always got the clever things to say, my man. And that's how I add my face into thumbnails. And again, anybody out there, you people in the future, you also, Gene, my friend, are welcome to join us over at korahor.org as a contributor. It doesn't mean you're a member of our church. They can't kick you out of somebody else's church for being a contributor, just for joining our church. But you have to take the oath of reason to do it. Again, the way to do that, to join our church, you go over to Korahor, or to join the church, you have to take the oath of reason, which is this over here. You can't do that unless you're a contributor, but you can become a contributor and get access to AI and I, where I'm not only going to show you how to Photoshop images, I'm also going to show people how I make the songs, the hymns of the Church of Korahor that are so popular, and also how you can use AI to write fiction and basically create a first draft of a fiction book and then modify it and then take that book, record it, and publish it as an audio book. This way, we're providing people with tools to change their economic reality in this modern age using AI instead of being afraid of it. That's the whole point. So feel free to join us over at korahor.org. Until next time, my friends, flash bright.